After your brother died, you didn't have to bother with me. I'd fucked up again until every bridge should have been in flames. But as I was packing up what little remained, the phone rang and it was you. And although you never spoke the actual words, what you said to me was, Michael, always believe in love. Oh, Michael.
Okay, my dear, what's your first name?
Hi, I'm Deb.
And I'm Pete.
Now, you came to us at Cowell, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. And you told us a great story about what happened to your partner.
Yes.
So why don't we start with you? What were you doing before you'd even heard of COVID, and what were your plans moving forward? If you never heard of COVID, where would you have been now?
We had just sold up in Adelaide, sold our house, and we were planning on moving over to the Eyre Peninsula, and we thought we'd just start a new life and build a new place and everything. And then when we got here, all the COVID stuff just started happening, and my hubby lost his job. Like, he held out as long as he could, took as much leave as he could, hoping it would all blow over. But
Well, let's start there.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah.
plans, you're building your house, you come out here building your life.
Yeah, exactly. And then,
Probably to head you into retirement, like this was like...
yeah, that's
Wait.
right. Yeah, and I was in a job I'd been in for 12 years. I worked for a South Australian energy company. I won't say their name because I sort
No,
of,
that's fine.
we had a sort of settlement where I said I wouldn't mention anything or have any legal action back against them. But yeah, that took place, and the company didn't have to mandate, but they decided that 79 employees that they would do a survey and see who wanted to do it. 98% of people said they wanted it to be mandated, and it wasn't only mandated for the employees. It was mandated for anyone that visited any facility, so any truck driver with a delivery or anything. So they had to be double jabbed.
But why did you decide that you weren't buying what was being sold? The fear.
Well, I reckon probably the multiple reasons, but probably the big one was the vaccine was being rolled out in America before it was rolled out here. And we had a good friend of ours, Marjorie, who got vaccinated. 3 days later, she died of blood clotting in the brain.
Oh, so was that AstraZeneca?
That was
Johnson
Johnson &
and
Johnson. Yeah, which was reported to have had these issues early days. And so that got our alarm bells up. But then just as it unfolded, I think there was no way. I mean, I'd had a health issue in 2014, I was diagnosed with a heart condition, having atrial tachycardia.
And what is that? Is something will start racing?
Your heart starts racing, and then every now and again it would stop briefly, and then when it got going again, it would fibrillate, like it would beat irregularly, to the point where, blood would sort of start running out of your head and feel like you're going to pass out.
Yeah.
So Deb was working in the medical system at that time, and I was able to get in and see a cardiologist in her department right there and then. So it was medication, and it was medication for the rest of my life. Following that, the next course was going to be an ablation. So once the medication, if that's not successful, they'll cut you open and burn a piece of your heart away.
Wow.
And then following that, it would be
That sounds like not fun.
having a pacemaker. So I guess I sat back and I questioned, what brought that on? And I think through that journey, we looked at everything we were doing in our life and changed our lifestyle a bit. Everything probably from that moment sort of happened serendipitously, if you like. We met a young guy who was a health coach, and we went to a talk he did one night, and he said he was out surfing and the same sort of things happening to him when he was 16. Bang, and he was able to change his lifestyle and manage his condition. So I said, well, you've got my attention. Can you tell me what you did? He gave us a protocol, and we basically, it's very simple, just eliminated as much toxins out of our life and took our food back to basics as we could. Long story short, kept seeing the cardiologist once a year, but the condition reversed. I lost 30 kilos, never came back, no more symptoms. Through that process, we sort of got involved with the wellness industry.
Can I just ask, before you go this far,
Yeah.
why didn't the fear, because the fear corrupted the world, why didn't the fear work on you? Or did it work on first and
Yeah, I can remember feeling really fearful, just not knowing what was going to happen, and particularly moving to a new area. And
No, I mean by the
Yeah.
virus itself, the pandemic. You weren't scared that this pandemic was going to kill you?
no,
Why weren't you scared? Because they were hitting you over the head like crazy 24/7. Why didn't it work?
just gut instinct, I think, and with our friend Marjorie dying, and her husband actually didn't take the vaccination but ended up in hospital, and he died as well
On a
from being
ventilator.
in hospital.
On a ventilator.
So they were two like, yeah, I don't know.
Flags for us, you might
Flags,
say.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
did the fear work on you at all at first? Were you thinking, okay,
I
we've got to take
think
this seriously?
the only real fear was just how everyone turned on you, really.
Yeah.
That was probably the most fearful thing, to just see how people became and behaved through that process. They just, they were doing the work of the government and farmer, basically.
You had family and friends cast you out?
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, it's sad, like, had people close to us that have developed cancer and dementia very suddenly. Yeah, it's really sad. And then it's like, well, you can't come and see us because you haven't injected
Participated.
yourself. Yes, taken part in the, yes, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, the world was definitely coming for us, wasn't it? I mean, when you look at the sunrise on the telly, I mean, we never sort of watched much mainstream telly, and maybe that would probably be part of the reason why we weren't so scared, because we didn't watch that stuff.
That's right. You took the great vaccination of actually not watching TV.
Not watching telly, we didn't watch it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the
Can I
guy.
ask though, because one of the greatest fears, one of the
Yeah.
greatest fears is people being ostracised. So how did you deal with that? Because most of us have been through it. And have you had that happen before, where suddenly you're just cast out because you have a different choice?
Oh, I think, our friends and families probably thought we were weirdos a bit for a while when we took the alternative health route, when Pete was able to reverse his heart condition. So,
Because we were pretty excited about that,
yeah.
the changes, and feeling fantastic, and not having to take pharmaceuticals anymore, and
Yeah.
you
What
know,
are you thinking?
and we just met so many people through that journey that, you know, we're just reversing diabetes and
Yeah.
all sorts of conditions. There was we went to a wellness event in New Zealand where there was a couple where her husband suffered very badly from Parkinson's, continually shaking. We did a breathing session with a Wim Hof instructor that came with us, and for the first time in years he stopped shaking right in that moment. So all we did was just a breathing technique which was able to calm everything down in his system. So I'm not sure how that, you know, went following through, but yeah, our body's too amazing, and I think the medical industry and everyone is just quite arrogant to think that they can do a better job than what we've been given.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when we get hit by a bus, we might need our bones realigned,
Yes.
but the hospital doesn't do our healing. We do the healing,
Yeah.
you know, and that happens.
Well, in the pandemic, the government didn't offer you to suggest you take vitamin C or get any sun or get any fresh air or
Yeah.
eat well. It was just take this jab.
Yeah.
But did you know when you took the journey to looking after your own health, the responsibility of your own health, that in our community now you literally were becoming heretics?
Yeah,
That's
well, I
the
guess,
truth.
yeah. Well, I think, you know, through the whole course of what went down, I think what you realise is that people never really probably grew up. There's probably a lot of people that are just still children, and they're looking for someone else to look after them.
Yes.
They're wanting to farm everything out. I saw that through health, really, is that everyone's sort of, oh, you know, it's out of my hands now. It's with the doctor. I've got the cancer, and I'll just have to do whatever he says. You know, I'll have to take the chemotherapy or whatever. And well, maybe not.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not.
Yeah. Is that your thoughts as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think just the way everything was rushed through so quickly, because in previous roles when I worked in medical administration, I'd be responsible for typing up research grant applications. And They went on for like years. They had to go through human ethics committees, animal ethics committees. They'd get knocked back for whatever and whatever. And then suddenly, here comes this amazing vaccine. And wow, it's come through in a couple of months. I was blown away. I just could not believe it. I thought if people lost their brains, like, yeah.
And did you lose your job as well because of this? Did you have to leave your job?
I was actually lucky. I was made redundant about a month before it happened. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. Did you get a payout?
yeah, I did, thankfully.
Oh, so that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to your job. So you're in this job.
Yeah.
You've been there for 12 years.
Worked very remotely in outback, sort of South Australia. So, you know.
Well trained in your job.
Yeah, we'll train. Yeah,
And
12 years.
did they have any issues with you before? Were they constantly complaining about you?
No complaints at all
No
whatsoever.
complaints? So you're a good, solid employee.
Yes, probably right up until the time we were having the group meetings with the board members and all the staff, and you know, obviously the reason that the company decided to do it was for health and safety reasons. It was in their interest. You know, they had an obligation to look after the safety of the workforce. But taking a vaccine is just way beyond their scope of responsibility. It's not like I did a 2-week on, 2-week off gig, so it's not like at the end of 2 weeks I could hang my vaccine up, put on the hook and go home and put it back on when I got back to work. This was a lifetime thing.
Yeah, because it agreed.
And it was interesting that they were, they sort of said through the process, no, we're not coercing you, or there's no, no obligation to take the vaccine. But basically, if you don't take it, you won't have a job.
Now, when did you find out you weren't getting a job? And did you approach them with evidence and stuff? Most people did.
Yeah, I did.
And did they listen at all?
Yeah, they listened, but I think the decision was already made. They were just on a different channel whatsoever. But they were pretty.
And so, did you quit, or did they actually fire you?
No, they had to fire me. So during that process, a lot of the young people that worked for the company, and there was a couple of people that worked in HR, they could see what was coming.
Yeah.
And they got out early. They weren't going to raise a fuss. They just left. And at this stage of my career, I wasn't going to do that because I just felt that the whole thing was wrong.
So you were going to go out swinging.
Well, I was going to get. I needed it in writing.
Yeah.
Why I was being sacked. And I was sacked because I couldn't follow policy, and it was a policy they introduced while I was on annual leave, that everyone has to be double jabbed with Pfizer.
So it wasn't a policy you signed up to when you did the job?
It wasn't a policy I signed up to, no, at all.
Just before we go on to what happened there, lots of couples have broken apart because of decisions made. Why did you decide to stay with this fella after he lost his job?
Well, he's actually my hero for standing up. I heard him on phone calls and he was just really getting devastated through all of this that was happening there with his workmates, like saying things to him, that it was going to affect them if he didn't go down that track. And we had a conversation and I just said, you need to get out of there, because I just thought he was mentally going to end up in a really bad place. And and when he came home, I just remember that day with a sign saying, "Welcome home, Pete," and just went up to him and just said, "Yeah, you're my hero."
That's really sweet. So they were going over the philosophy that they're going to drown because you're not wearing a life jacket.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty common knowledge now that we see that Pfizer's admitted themselves, they never tested it for transmission. It had no protection whatsoever. So, and it was a therapy at best, which meant that there was no course for an emergency use authority on that. And so here we are, how many years later? 5, heading on 6 years later, and no one's been held accountable. There's still you can still wander into the chemist and get your, I don't know what booster.
They advertise it.
I remember, speaking to my work colleagues, said, "Oh, you're gonna have to have a booster, and maybe a couple more." "Oh, no, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're making stuff up." And I got to say, it was just like we're on a different planet. And then,
Can I ask though? So you got sacked. So you decided to take them to court. Now the courts were very prejudiced against people who didn't take the jab. So that's an interesting story.
Yeah, well, I did try all sorts of courses that were available. I didn't go as far as court, but we took it to the Fair Work Commission, and Fair Work Australia did put a case. So I was more inclined to put that on record, really, to say that it was myself versus the company, why the dismissal was seemed unfair. And of course, it was denied because
We know from Danny, another guy, worked on the rescue helicopters.
Yep.
And he took it to Fair Work, and the magistrate told him, "We haven't let any case win.
No.
There's been 500, they've all lost."
Yeah.
See, it was stacked against you.
Yeah, that's right. But the company decided that they would settle, so they settled on a sort of like a nominal amount. But by the time I gave the government their cut, there was a couple of weeks' wages.
So the government took the cut.
Well, that's right. So the government,
They got
government
you,
wins.
they sacked you, and then...
Beautiful for the government. They just got money for jam right there.
Oh my God.
But
Now, just to go back here though, so not only has he lost his job, you've been ostracised, and I'm going to hear with you, but this money you had saved up to buy a property here, this is what you had to live on.
Yeah. So for a whole year we had no income. And it's just meant that we're still living in our caravan after 5 years. We've started building, but the prices of everything have gone up so much that, it's just, I don't know, some days I'm out there hanging out the washing thinking, wow, I'm at this age and I'm still living like a hippie, But then I'm thinking, well, we're alive and we're healthy, and I don't regret anything. I'm glad that we've stood up. I've got great nephews and nieces, and I feel like we needed to do this for them. It's not for us. Like, we'll probably be off this planet by the time it all sort of turns even worse or whatever happens. But yeah, I just want to look them in the eye every time I see them and give them a cuddle and know that we stood up for them.
I don't usually make statements, but she's a keeper.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's why I wanted to do the interview. How do you feel though? You've worked hard most of your life. I'd say you probably haven't been to prison. You probably paid your taxes. You've been a decent working class man.
Yep.
How do you feel how they've treated you now?
Well, I guess I don't know. I've sort of grew up through the 80s. The 80s were pretty good from those that lived through that, and I think we all had a great time. But then maybe we should have just been paying attention to what was going on, because I think a lot of what happens is smoke and mirrors. While you look at the left hand, look over here. Meanwhile, you're looking over there, and there's something sideways going on the other way. And I think wherever money's involved, like large sums of money, and the government is more like a corporation now rather than serving the people anymore. I think they're just working in with corporations, really.
And the other thing we're facing at the moment is to bring in these hate speech laws, which, let's be honest, are aimed at people like you. So what are your thoughts on those?
Well, I think they sort of seem to come on pretty quick. It's just so 1984, if you've ever read that book.
Oh, yeah.
That, there was the Ministry of Truth, the guys in there just crossing things out and, changing. And I think that's just happened all through history, really. And I think, I don't know, I guess this time, because everything was sort of internet-based, they were pretty quick to censor people. And I think that was something that also made us pay attention very quickly too, especially your story. When we saw that, the picture that's on your bus with that black vehicle that showed up that day and was firing rubber bullets, and whatever else on the peaceful protesters at the shrine in Melbourne. I'm turning the news and it's completely different. There's two different worlds there.
Yeah.
And I speak to people that are watching the telly, and I'm there, well, how about that siege in Melbourne? No, didn't happen. So there were just two realities going on.
Yeah. Even though we've got video evidence, we can show you.
Video evidence. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you, this last few years, I tell people say it's been in a journey, but it's more than a journey, it's an odyssey. We've really had to reach strengths that we didn't know we had. How have you changed in the last 5 years? How has it changed you for the better or the worse?
For the better, I'd say. Yeah, a lot stronger. I've woken up a lot to so many things that I just believed were true over most of my life, and suddenly I'm like, wow. And just meeting people that we would never have met before had this not happened. So if there's one good thing that's come out of it, it's meeting people like yourself and Curl and other friends and the community that it's creating. It just gives me hope for the future.
And yourself, how have you changed the last few years?
Yeah, I think that's the thing with the people that have come into our lives now. It's sort of everything sort of seems to be synchronistic, really.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had to go looking for people; it's just sort of straight away, and it's almost like you can look someone in the eye and you know that you're on the same page. And the friendships that have come out of post the it's not even over yet, but post the nonsense is unbelievable, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And your relationship, has that struggled or got better because of what's happened?
I think it's made us stronger, actually. Yeah, in a different way. I think before we used to just, we'd be out just having fun and not really thinking about things. A lot deeper.
How about spiritually? Has the spirituality changed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us in what way?
I just feel sort of like the consciousness that's there that just is bringing us together. Yeah, it's just incredible, I think. I heard, was it Bruce Lipton the other night, if I'm allowed to mention his name, but I like his philosophies, and he likened it to going from the caterpillar stage to the butterfly stage, and he said, we're just in that mushy kind of thing where the caterpillar's deteriorating and then we're all going to fly off like butterflies. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to hold on to that. Thanks, Bruce.
Well, what colour wings are you going to have if that philosophy is true?
Yeah, maybe not fairy wings, but like maybe like an eagle's wings or something. I sort of picture myself having.
But has your spirituality changed, or?
Yeah, I think it has intensified. I think we've probably always been sort of somewhat. We know that there's another, however you want to call it, source out there. We've seen so much evidence of that. Like this, almost
synchronicity is an evidence.
Synchronicity, yeah, like the things that happen. You think, oh, well, that's a coincidence, but it's not. It's designed like that. You think of someone, you're thinking of someone. Bang, the phone rings like instantly, like that just happens more and more. I think maybe because just our antennas up more, I think to those things. And yeah, I think so. I wouldn't say that we're religious in a sense, but I think there's some good messages in the religions. But then again, I think that's, something that's been tinkered with over the years as well. So I think, someone's already had the pen out and crossed bits of that out. I would like to see the original text of that translated, really. But libraries have been burnt over history and all sorts, haven't they? So that people don't really actually find out how powerful they are. So I think over the course of life, we've all just been dumbed down a bit. And you would have to say that during COVID, that was evident. Like the bottle shops are open still. Go get yourself hammered, go and get some alcohol, go home, and yet the mum and dad pop shops, they were crippled and lost their businesses, restaurants and things closed, forever gone. People doing good, honest work, but yet the big corporations, didn't affect them whatsoever. In fact, they creamed it, didn't they? They made a killing during that time. So,
where do you
what's
see?
next?
Where do you see? Because we have a thing of refusing to sell hopelessness, no matter how tight its grip. But it's been very hard. Yeah. Where do you see the hope moving forward?
It's hard. It is hard because I don't think it's over. I think there's more hardship to come. And I think people have to be prepared for it and look over their shoulder and not be asleep at the wheel. But yeah, I see it in people that we meet. I mean, we meet so many young people that show us signs of promise, really. Like they've homeschooled their kids now, and some of them were homeschooled themselves, and you think, like, wow. So the more people can pull out of all the systems, really, and create new systems, really, because I think all the old ones are past their use by date. to tell you the truth. And I mean, you know, obviously we can see that the financial system, they're trying to push for a digital currency. Well, you know, that's not going to be great when the power goes out and you need to go get the food from the supermarket and your phone doesn't work to tap it, your card doesn't work. I mean, yeah, there's a big problem right there waiting to happen unless we've got other forms of payment. But I think the hope's in that there are a huge group of people out there that are building new lives and collaborating together. And
would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I think by localising things rather than globalising things that's my dream.
Yeah.
That I would love to see, in my lifetime. And like we've got friends that are regenerative farmers, and that really gives me hope too. You know, they're just to see the efforts they have to go through, and they have to jump through lots of loopholes as well, you know, to be able to do that. But I just admire them. They're young and they're doing it for their kids and their grandkids as well. And the more that we can support locally, it just seems like the Australian way, how things used to be years ago. Like, I can't believe it's just changed so much in the years that we've been on the planet, really. But I'd like to see it swing back to more communities and local.
And I think we're starting to see that, I reckon. I think we are. I mean, when we grew up, all the districts, all the suburbs had their local shops. Yeah. Everyone walked to them every day. Everyone knew everyone in between. Everyone spoke to all your neighbours. Then the big corporations, the supermarkets come along, bang.
It was globalisation, really. That was supposed to be good for us.
Came along, and then don't even know your next door neighbour. Everyone's in the car, out the driveway, to the supermarket, getting what they need, coming back. Yeah. You know, that was all lost really around that time, I think. Yeah.
So you two can remember a better time. Because we're like walking museums, I hate to say it.
Very much. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to really thank you for...
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
No, actually, this is your interview.
Well, just for giving people the opportunity. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you for doing a beautiful interview. When you talked to me, I was thinking, I hope he says yes. And because she said he's a hero, and I said, oh my God, I want to meet this guy. And I want to do this couple. So thank you for being both of you. Thank you for being so strong. I think it's going to spread a lot of hope.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Thanks,
Michael. Yeah.
I watch you walk down my streets together. You in the front of your man, lost in your boy. You're speaking a language of pausing across the road, or sorting the shopping items each will carry home. And although you have never noticed me, I can hear you both whispering. And you are whispering to me, Michael. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. Always believe in love. You were singing on the stage with your sisters, dancing to some rainbow fairy tale. Your voices were all small and out of time. Still we pressed record and held up our candle phones. For despite the flames of our burning world, we could all hear the angels singing. Oh, Michael. 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 Always believe in love. There's a gorilla loving a fallen human child, and we're all wrestling with shadows while wondering if inside the dark we will finally find the flower that perpetually grows.